This program is proudly brought to you by Excite.
It's going to be very difficult considering the amount of talent that has come out of Cape United since the formation of the club in 1973. You know, very talented players, but I have to do it. And then here we go. I'll start with my number one, obviously. Very talented goalkeepers that have come through. Energy Mrambadoro, Witness Mkuli, you've got your George Mudiwa, you've got your Brenham Siska, Duncan Ellison, you know, but Ernest Girambadare as well. But I have to pick one like the show wants. So for me, I would have to go with Brenham Siska. You know, I would have loved to go with Energy Mrambadoro, but he didn't stay long at Cape United, didn't play a lot of games, you know. But when you look at the modern football now, I would pick him because of his ability to play with his feet, you know. But if you look at the reign at Cape United, then I will have to go with Brenham Siska. So Brenham Siska is my choice for the number one slot at Cape United all-time 11. Number two, right back, that is, I looked at the players like Phumelelo Zoa. He played that position for a few matches. There's also Cheche Billiard. Then there's the enterprising Kudzi Taruinga. You know, Kudzi Taruinga was like a modern right back in the olden era. You know, he was playing as if he was playing today, you know. Then you've got your Edo Bedina, you know, very good player, gritty and all that. So I found it very difficult to pick one, but anyway, like I said, like I did with the goalkeepers, I still have to pick one. So I'll go with Edo Bedina for my right back position. So he takes that. Then I move on to left back. Left back is not it's not very difficult, to be honest. It's difficult in the sense that the players that played, they had almost the same ability, you know, but there were not a lot of them. You know, we look at Sais Torindo, there was Charles Johan, then Sifas Chimedza. You know, for me, I think those were my top three for that position. There was also Mphumelelo Zoa. He played a little bit in that position, but that was not his natural position. So it went down to a competition between Charles Johan and Sifas Chimedza. But when I want to select a team that can play modern football right now, I'll have to go with Sifas Chimedza because he had the qualities to go forward and score goals from that position. He gave a lot more. You know, Charles was gritty and strong and tough, but Sifas Chimedza gave the club a little bit more because he was versatile. He could go, he was skillful, score goals, defend at the same time, create goals. So I'll give it to Sifas Chimedza. So that's my left back. Centre back, that was also a tough one. You know, there were players that I watched, you know, and the players that I played with, so it became so difficult. There was William Chikauro, very good defender. Charles Sibanda, very good defender in the olden days. Then we had Tobias Sibanda, very tough defender, very good defender. Then we had Silva Chugwenje, Dumisani Mpofu, Frank Nyamukuta. It was a very formidable side, but when I have to come to choose two, you know, this is what I have to do. I will have to go with Silva Chugwenje, my number one for that position. And I think that when I'm talking about modern football as well, and being, you know, that stalwart in defense, I'll go with Dumisani Mpofu. I'll give it to Dumisani Mpofu. So my defense will be Silva Chugwenje and Dumisani Mpofu.
Inside. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. You're on the road to reach greatness. Give us the power of an oxide battery. Unleash the power of a Zimbabwean hero. Excite power, the real power. Excite power, the real power. Excite power, long-lasting power. Lasts through the distance, it is reliable. Excite power.
Defensive midfield, I think, honestly speaking, when I looked at that position, I didn't really struggle. Although there are players that I respected in that position. There was Oscar Motsi. I'm not sure if Edwin Farai was really playing as a defensive midfielder, but he was also sometimes playing as an attacking midfielder. So I'm not so sure. Cheche Billy had also played there. But my number one was so anonymous. For me, in my mind, it has to be Lloyd Chitembo, no one else. So Lloyd Chitembo takes that defensive midfielder position in that team. Moving on to the other two slots in midfield, it was not easy. To be honest, those positions were not easy. You look at Farai Mbidzo, one of the most versatile players, very skillful. Edwin Farai, like I said, Oscar Motsi as well. There was Joel Shambo, Stix Mutizwa, Joe Mugabe. A galaxy of talent. Cape United has produced a lot of talent over the years, and it's very difficult. I don't know who decided to put me in this chair to do this. Such a difficult situation, but I have to do it. I accepted I have to do it. So my one midfielder that I would pick, number 8, so I'm losing number 8 and number 10 is my other two midfielders. So my number 8, I'm going for Stix Mutizwa. I stand for the Stix Mutizwa, the maestro, the player that would trap the ball with his chest like the ball didn't even have pressure. And there was a time, he was telling me this story, that there was a time that he chest controlled the ball and his other teammates came and tried to pick up the ball and to check if it had pressure, because Boraga was going to die. So Stix Mutizwa for me. And then the other position, honestly, guys, I played with Joe Mugabe. What a phenomenal player he was. I was tempted, but then when I look and compared him with the Joel Shambo, I just couldn't help it, guys. So I'll go with Joel Shambo for this position. The headmaster, Mwalimu Shambo, I respect him on and off the field. He was my inspiration. He was like my big brother. Good person, very, very inspiring person. But his football did more inspiring than his off the field inspiration. So I'll go with Joel Shambo for that position. So that's my midfield: Lloyd Chitembo, Stix Mutizwa, and Joel Shambo.
all your automotive and solar solutions. Exide, the battery of choice.
Now from my midfielders I go to the left wing position. Like I said, it was a little bit tough because I'm one of the players in contention for that position. A lot of respect for all the players that played in that position for Cape United, but my top three in that position, they have to be Friday Piri, the breakdown, Gift Mdangwe and myself. Those are the top three, but no disrespect for the other players, for everybody else. It dropped down to a contest between myself and my brother, Gift Mdangwe. He was a very inspirational player for me as well. We grew up in the same mood, like I said. He was my senior. I used to call him Mkoma Gizi, because I used to watch him play by ground Chedu Chegu Sengeza, our holidays, and what a player he was. The way he used to take on defenders, especially Rambos, but when they played against the Islanders, I used to love it. I used to just go and watch Cape United versus the Islanders to just watch what Gift Mdangwe would be doing. So he was a very good. But now when I compare myself and him now, it was like almost the same because we had almost the same skills in that position. But then I had to break it down to statistics. When you look at statistics, goals scored, assists and all that, I think that's where I edged him, because I think I scored a lot of goals for Cape United and a lot of assists for Cape United as well. So if my memory serves me right, I believe, I don't know, I stand to be corrected, I believe I might just be the second highest ever scorer at Cape United. I might just be the second highest goal scorer at Cape United from Sheki Tauro. I don't think there's anybody else who scored more goals than me at Cape United, although I was there for only 2.5 seasons, but I don't think there's anybody who scored more goals than me besides Sheki Tauro. So that's where I looked at it, so I give myself that position. So Alois Bunjira at number 11. Then we go to the right wing, number 7. Number 7, it was a bit tricky, but not that bad. I looked at Morgan Katazo. I played with Morgan Katazo. What a player he was. His quality delivery of crosses and all. He was very brilliant. Then there was Stanley Ndunduma. Stanley Ndunduma, one of the all-time greats at Cape United. He was one of my all-time. He's actually one of my all-time favorite players in Zimbabwean football. Played for the national team. Inspired me when I went to Black Rhinos. And he was just a good person off the field, just like Joe Shambo, like I said. And I think when I look at the two, Morgan and Stanley Ndunduma, I'll be tempted, because for me, when I look at the national team itself, I can actually give it to Stanley Ndunduma for that position for Zimbabwe. So he can lose at Cape United when he's my number one for the national team. So I'll give it to Stanley Ndunduma, Senior Ndunduma, two-time Soccer Star of the Year at Cape United and the Black Rhinos. So he is a great, one of the Zimbabwean greats as well. So he takes that number 7, right wing position. And then we go to the center striker position. There was Gift Pariwa, yes, he played for Cape United. There was Sheki Tauro, he played for all-time top scorer at Cape United, I'm sure. I stand to be corrected. Then there was also my best friend. We grew up together. We played together in almost every club that we played for. So I could have been biased. Stuart Murisa, very good player, very talented. When you talk of talent, I think we are at par. We are at par with Stuart Murisa. What I beat Stuart at was the goals. Stuart didn't score a lot of goals. For the striker, he needed to score more goals. He was not a very potent goal scorer for that, and I think that's where he loses a little bit. But talent-wise, he had an abundance of talent. You could actually admire watching Stuart play. You could actually go to a stadium to just watch Stuart play. The way he did it. Only if he had managed to score a little bit more goals. He was like Tawe Mreo at Dynamos. Very talented player, but he didn't score a lot of goals. That was like Stuart Murisa for you at Cape United as well. So it boiled down to goals, because that position, players are required to score goals. So who else other than Mr. Goals himself? Sheikh Mentauro. So Sheikh Mentauro takes that position for me. So that's my 11. As you can see, I'm done. I've come to my final 11.